joining the road, we saw a group of people from afar. That one is near Ahmed Shopping Center, which is along that center process. There was a gathering. You see a big gathering from afar. But the road was blocked from that area.
Was blocked by the police?
By the gathering.
By the gathering.
There were many people, and the vehicles were not coming from that direction.
Yes.
My lady, we moved a short while, and then we came out of my vehicle and proceeded to the scene on foot.
Yes.
On arrival, we found that there were two young men who had been shot. They were lying on the road, about 2 meters apart. And there were several police officers whom I could see trying to control the crowd from moving closer to the scene.
Yes.
When I joined the scene to move closer to the shooting, the officer, Ahmed Rashid, who was in charge, came to me and informed me that the young men shot down were robbing a complainant by the name Professor Rashid. There was a professor who was being robbed by the men. He said one of them escaped towards St. Teresa's, and the two managed to be shot when they were challenged, and they didn't surrender.
Proceed.
The officer gave me a homemade gun. They claimed to have been recovered from these robbers.
Yes.
I immediately raised the controller and called for the officers from scenes of crime to come and document that scene.
Proceed.
After a short while, scenes of crime personnel came from Pangani offices, and they took photos, they documented the scene and collected some exhibits, which included the cartridges used during the shooting, and they also took the homemade gun which I had been given by Officer Rashid.
Then?
The scenes of crime personnel checked on the bodies and could not find any identification from these two young men shot down. after which their bodies were picked by duty officer Abdurrahman Ndegwa and taken to the mortuary.
Thank you. 4 questions. You say you saw or you were handed over a homemade gun
Yes, my lady.
without asking the state to give it to you. Was that homemade gun having capacity to shoot? From the look of it.
My lady, from the look, I could not ascertain that one unless tested.
From the look of the gun, did it look like any other gun by shape?
Yes, my lady.
Number 2, you have said the young men didn't have identification cards.
Yes, my lady. They didn't have any.
From the look of those young men, were they below 18 years?
They appeared adults,
They
my
appear
lady.
to be adults.
Yes, my lady.
4, 3rd, the officer, did he tell you the circumstances pertaining that minute that led to the 2 young men there being shot?
Yes, my lady.
What were the circumstances, the actual circumstances, as the officer?
He told me that there was one man by the name Professor Rashid who was being robbed by the 3 young men. So the complainant raised alarm, and that's how they came in and they confronted the robbers.
This incident, according to you, you had it from the radio communication, police communication.
Yes, my lady.
Was this officer, the accused, aware that such an incident is going to happen?
Pardon,
No.
because it's not clear.
You had this communication of an incident in Eastleigh.
Yes, my lady.
This officer was at Eastleigh.
Yes, my lady.
Was he likely to have been aware that Professor was going to be robbed? Is it possible that he knew that Professor was going to be robbed?
I'm not understanding the question.
I'm looking at
Can you be a bit more
Malice.
clear?
Let me ask you this. This incident happened.
Yes, my lady.
Professor was being robbed.
Yes, my lady.
It is an incident that happens without anybody knowing other than the thieves. True?
That's what I was informed by.
That is what you are informed. So Ahmed Rashid was not aware that Professor was going to be robbed.
My lady, I can't be certain of that, but that's
According
how...
to the communication, did you get any communication that
Yes.
he was aware?
No,
He was not aware.
no.
Did the person who was being robbed officially identify himself that I was the one who was being robbed?
My lady, they brought the man to police station and was taken by the investigating officers, hopefully to record the statement.
You saw the video of the shooting incident.
Yes, my lady.
Describe what you saw on video without us playing.
My lady, I can only recall when I arrived and I saw a lot of people, on the road, a crowd. And when I moved closer to that crowd, I found that there were several police officers trying to control the crowd, and there were two young men who had been shot on the road, lying about 2 meters apart.
Lastly, for the record, you said you were the accused person's OCS for around 1 year.
Yes, my lady.
Do you recall any incident where he misused his gun?
No, my lady.
I'm
Not
not question.